Fortunately, we've had a great summer, and we're able to work with the guys and able to have meetings with them and to be out there for their workouts. And with that, you always feel more ahead of the game going into training camp. And I'm looking forward to working with these guys, getting them better every day, focusing on it one day at a time, and developing them to be the type of players I think they can be in the defense that we can be.
DJ, Mark talked about finding his rhythm as a head coach in your career. Are you in the same position as being comfortable year 3 coordinator?
I'm definitely more comfortable year 3 as a coordinator, but I think that one of the most critical things in transition is each program may be different, each player may be different, each conference may be different. So even though I've had to transition as a coordinator, I've also grown for this program, this league, and these players.
How difficult is it to get junior college guys to get work up to speed?
Well, I think that each player is different, and sometimes positions are different. You know, some positions may require more technique, and some positions may require more assignment. And the ones that require more assignment, it's more difficult to get them up to speed. Defensive line, corner, I like to say that those are easy in theory, but they're hard in application. There might not be a lot of things that they have to know mentally, but it sure is hard to execute that technique. And with practice, you can get those techniques executed, but the lack of meeting time sometimes with a safety or with a linebacker could hurt you assignment-wise.
DJ, what are you expecting from your linebackers? Mark was talking about being young on the outside and being strong on the inside. What kind of things do you want in early camp?
Well, ultimately, the defense as a whole has to be physical defense. We have to play with tremendous effort, and we have to play fundamentally sound, and we have to play together and within the defense. But at linebacker play, the outside guys are critical in the run, but very critical in the pass with their pass rush. So our outside linebackers have to be able to rush the passer. Our inside linebackers, they make a lot of checks up front, they make a lot of adjustments, and versus the power run teams, they're involved on those inside run plays so much that they have to be very physical, and they have to have the size and the explosiveness to stop those plays.
How confident are you that you have the tools, if not yet the experience, to have the depth that you're looking to get on defense?
Repeat the question.
How confident are you that you have the tools, if maybe not yet the experience, to have the depth you want to have on defense?
Okay, is that, are you referring to like talent? Okay. I think that our recruiting has been very good, and I feel a lot better than when we got here on the talent on our defense. And depth is critical. I thought it was critical last year, and it's something that we're really harping on going into training camp, is developing depth so that we can have a good rotation at all our positions.
DJ, moving to 3-4, how many strong side defensive ends will you rep and have game ready?
We'll be 3 deep. We'll be 2 deep plus 1. Okay, so if you've got 2 defensive ends, then we'll be 2 deep plus 1, ready to play in every game. If you have more, that's great. But I look at that at every position on defense. I want to be 2 deep plus 1. So what that means, if I got 2 corners, you know, I want to be able to have 2 deep plus 1 that could go to either side. Now, if you've got more that you can play, more guys you can get in the rotation, that's even better. But that's the goal that I'm looking for heading into camp.
DJ, what's your expectation level for the 2 JUCO guys, the defensive linemen, Megan and Bell, and Mark said obviously you haven't seen them much yet, but what do you hope for them?
Well, you recruit junior college players because you need a veteran player at that position. That's the reason you recruit junior college players. So, you know, you may have a gap from an older player that left, and the only other players left on your roster at that position are younger players. So you need a veteran player to come in at that position. And I think that both those guys have a lot of talent. They're going to be more experienced in college football, maybe not within our defense, but in college football in general, than a freshman, because they've played 2 years of college football. And, I think they have a chance to do some great things. I'm looking forward to working with them. But like Coach Stoops says, you really don't know until you work with them.
DJ, what do you expect from Mike Edwards and Darius West?
Mike Edwards and Darius West, as you know, we redshirted last year, but they're extremely talented. Mike is an excellent cover safety. Darius is an excellent run-fitting safety. He's very physical. He's fast. Mike can cover a slot. He can win one-on-one situations in pass coverage. I think those guys have a very bright future here, and fortunately, we're starting to develop some depth in the secondary with guys like that on our team, and we haven't necessarily had that the last 2 years.
Is Kobe Walker, how quick is he going to get back into camp, and what do you expect from him?
It's too early to tell how quick he'll be in full swing, but I think Kobe Walker, a lot like some of our other young players, has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent. He's long, he's fast. He's a guy that played DB in high school, but now we're playing him at linebacker, so he has the coverage skills of a DB at the linebacker position, and he's put on some weight. He's put on about 10 or 15 pounds since he's been here, so he's getting to the size that he needs to hold up in the run, too.
DJ, what's the most important step for Jason Hatcher now that he's not got Bud there as kind of a security blanket in front of him?
Jason just needs to take it one day at a time and continue to harp on the fine things and fundamentals.
Got time for two more.
DJ, can you talk about that depth on the interior defensive line a little bit? The wealth of guys you can rotate in and out of?
Well, we've got a returning starter in Melvin Lewis back, and Matt Elam saw significant reps too last year at nose guard, and then Reggie Ment and Corey Johnson played last year for us as well. Farrington played for us last year. We've brought in Courtney Meggins, the inside line. We redshirted Adrian Middleton and Tamir DeBose, and then on top of that, Jacob Hyde is over at the nose guard position as well. So the majority of our players at that position are, like I said, they're either seniors or they're freshmen, and that was one reason why it was critical to bring Courtney in, because then you put a junior in that mix.
DJ, what do you like about 3-4?
Well, I get a lot of questions about the 3-4, but I still consider our defense multiple. We at Florida State, we didn't run any 3-4 schemes. We ran all 4-3 schemes. And since we've been here, we've evolved to some 3-4 schemes. But if you watch us, you'll still see a lot of 4-3 schemes as well, a lot of 4-down schemes. So if somebody were to ask me, which you guys never do, what we are on defense, I would tell you that we're multiple. We're a multiple defense, okay? But one thing that I like about 3-4 schemes is that the offense doesn't know who the fourth rusher is. So if you think about it, in a 4-down scheme, there's 4 designed rushers. It's the 4 defensive linemen. But in a 3-4 scheme, somebody else is coming besides those 3 defensive linemen on any given down, and they don't necessarily know which one it is.
Okay. Coach, anybody else?
If you guys had a chance to be around Rich Brooks a little bit here recently, did you talk much football? Did he have any advice? Did you pick his brain?
Rich Brooks and I have really hit it off, and we talk, and he's here periodically because his son lives here, and so I see him when he comes into town, and I've sat down with him and I picked his brain. He's a defensive-minded coach. So I always like visiting with defensive-minded coaches with experience, and he's given me some good advice.
All right, thanks, Mr. Eliot.
Thank you.